Welcome back to my channel. Today we will look into the another project layout, which is flowchart. Okay, so what is flowchart? Flowchart is a diagrammatical representation of various steps involved in completing activities connected in multiple ways. Okay, and when we can use flowchart, what is a suitable when is it suitable to use flowchart? A flowchart is suitable when there is a complex flow with several conditions. If you look at the diagrammatic representation here, you can see there are different branching, like it is true. If the flow condition decision is true, it will move to one branch. If it is false, it is moving to different branch. So this is a suitable condition when we are using flowchart. And there is a flow that runs continuously or that terminates on a specific condition. That is where when we use a flowchart. What are the advantages of using flowchart? It is easy to understand, multiple branching logical operators that enable you to create complex business processes and connect activities in multiple ways. It can be used for continuous workflow. These are the advantages of flowchart. Disadvantages: it can be used only as a general workflow, not for individual parts of project. That is a disadvantage of flowchart. Let's look into a practical example of how we implement flowchart. Let me open Studio. Here you can implement new. In the Designs tab, go to New, implement flowchart. I am using flowchart demo. Okay. So when you create a flowchart workflow, you can see it will start with a start activity. Okay. So here let me assign an activity. I'm going to assign 3 numbers. Branching. Declaring variable control K. Let it be A. And assigning a value 100. Go to variables. Let me change the data type to integer. Control K, variable B. I'm assigning a value 200. Control K, I'm assigning a variable C and assigning a value 500. Okay, let me change the variable type to integer in all the 3 cases. Okay, so I have assigned 3 variables, variable A, B and C. Let me change to integer. Okay, now what I am going to do is I want to check which variable is having highest value, A, B or C, which one is the highest value. So what I am going to do is flow. I'm going to add a flow decision here. Okay, so in the flow decision, if you go to the activity, you can see the condition, display name. It is showing label, false label is false, true label is true. Okay, so here you can give the condition. I'm going to give the condition A greater than B. And display name, display name A greater than B. Condition A greater than B. Okay, so this is a condition. Now I am going to display, I'm going to use a message box. So if A is greater than B, then it will display a message box. Here in the message box, I am going to mention A is greater dot toString. Okay. Okay, A is greater than B and A is greater than C. Then, okay, I am placing another message box here. I'm going to place another flow decision here. Okay. Condition B greater than C. Okay. If it is true, I'm going to send a message box here. It will display B is greater and value as B dot toString. Okay. Now coming back here, if this condition is false, again I have to bring a message box. I'm going to use a message box here. C is greater. C dot toString. Okay. Now let me run this file. C is greater. Okay, let me explain this. So what I am doing is, what I did is I will recollect everything. So I opened the UiPath Studio. In the design ribbon, I choose new. From new, I choose flowchart. So you will get a new fresh page like this. And here by default you will have the start activity. So what I am doing here is I am trying to find which number is greatest. So what I did is I created three variables, declared those variable as integer, then I assigned three values. Next what I did is I created a I used an activity named flow decision. In the activity, just type flow. You will get the flow decision activity displayed here. Choose this activity. Here what we have is, in the flow decision activity, we have a display name, the condition, and then true or false branch. Two branches will be there, either true or false. So I used one flow decision to check whether A is greater than B and C. Okay, so if we check the expression editor, you can see A is greater than B or E is greater than C. I have to use these two conditions. Okay, and if it is true, then it will, if A is greater than B or A is greater than C, then it will go to this branch. If it is false, I have to check whether B is greater, right? So going to next flow decision, it will check whether B is greater than C or not. So if B is greater than C, then it will go to the branch true and it will get displayed here. If it is false, it will display the value C. So let me change this value to 600. Okay, so now the biggest value is A. So let me save and run the file. So now it should display A equal to 600. Okay. Now let me display the value for B. I am making it as 800. So now B is greatest value. So let me run the file. There is some mistake happened here. Just let me run the file again. Okay, so now it is B is greater than. See, the first error was because I gave the condition as OR. So what happened is it went inside the loop. That's why it displayed the value for E. Okay, now it is, I corrected it as AND. Okay, so this is how we have to implement the flowchart. You have to go through branches. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you all.